What we did in this study is to map the European Union's connection to 12 other world regions. And the question is, how connected is Europe to other parts of the world in economic terms? And then how competitive is it?
The study that Dan just completed for the AmCham suggests that Europe is the single largest exporter in the world. It's also the single largest investor in the world to North America, larger Europe, and to the BRIC countries.
The reason why it's very important for us to see a competitive Europe is to simply start with the trade balance between Europe and the US. It's by far outperforming any other trade balance. Also the investments.
European companies last year earned over $100 billion in the United States. They're the largest source of onshore jobs in America. Just as American companies are the largest investors in Europe, more than the next 20 investors combined, and employ more Europeans in the world than anywhere else. The largest source of jobs for Europe are American companies. And last year, American companies earned over $200 billion in Europe. So Europe is the most profitable place for American companies in the world.
We have systematically tried to identify industries of the future which we think will create the greatest opportunities for growth in both of our economies. Energy, smart grids in particular, e-health, e-mobility, which is sort of a buzzword these days for hybrids and electric cars. And we have put those at the top of our agenda to work with Europe to see if we can invest jointly and drive these industries collectively. Not only investment, but also standards, and hopefully present more of a unified face to the rest of the world.
There are a lot of, I think, false assumptions about the transatlantic economy. We read every day about the rise of China and India, the other rising powers, as if the transatlantic economy is fading or not relevant. The reality is different. The U.S. and Europe together provide about 54% of the world's GDP, over half, just the two of them alone, and that's quite significant. They are the wealthiest markets in the world. They are two big pan-continental markets. They have highly educated workforces, and they are more deeply integrated with each other than they are with anybody else.
It will take a global approach where the US and Europe can be leading in order to make sure that these type of industries maintain competitive on a global basis. And that's where you need good industry policies, both in the US and both in Europe, in order to support that position.
What the study also identifies is that the transatlantic partnership between North America, the United States in particular, and Europe is very strong, and that there is more in common than there are differences between the two.